Good morning, sports fans from all around the globe. I am your host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is your breakfast bankroll for Sunday, July 24th, 2022. The last full week of July coming up. The hell of a weekend for the ECSI VIPs. We took a few days off to start the week, and we actually took Thursday off, so we came back guns a-blazing. Friday, 3-1. We're hooked on the Cardinals team total. We had over 5.5. They got to 5. Of course, yesterday they get to 6. You know how that works. But very happy with the 3-1. And yesterday, if anyone caught my tweet, we went for the Royal Flush. We had the Royals team total over 4.5. They get 3 runs early, and they had 1 or 2 guys on every inning. I mean, after 6, they had 9 LOBs. I got some family members about to jump off a bridge. I mean, it was crazy. 2 guys caught stealing, yada, yada, yada. And then Rays tie it up 3-3 with 2 in the 7th, 1 in the 8th. So now we're like, all right, well, someone's going to score 4 here. Solo homer in the bottom of the 8th makes it 4-3. And then 1 guy on, 2 outs, and Bobby Witt Jr. goes yard to get to 6. So we cashed that. And we talked about the Royal Flush with the Royals plus 100 versus the Rays to win that game. And they go on to win 6-3. So 5-1 weekend, having a hell of a weekend. It's Sunday fun day for us. It's Envelope Monday in exactly 11 hours and 42 minutes. So we're excited there. But I'm more excited to bring in my co-host from the Windy City himself, the one and only Mr. Riley Magnuson. Morning, Riley.
Morning, my friend. Good to see you again. It's been a few days. I'm having a nice weekend myself. Happy Sunday. I've been out of town, had some events, so I haven't had too much time to watch any of the baseball action for the most part these last couple of days, other than peeking at my White Sox a little bit. But had some nice UFC action yesterday over in London during the day, so had some nice winners there. But aside from that, I'm ready to have some not get too crazy. Obviously, it's a Sunday, quicksand Sunday, so I'm not going too crazy as far as that is concerned. But trying to have a little fun today as far as the baseball action to get myself back into the second half here. So I'm ready to rock, my friend. It's good to see you again.
Great to see you. I'm going to start just for 1 second here. I always talk about after a major and before a major, the mentality of some of the guys teeing off a week before a major, just trying to get their reps in, might be working on a draw, might be working on a fade, might be working on a stinger to get ready for the major in the next course. Some guys that just mucking along will just make the cut and then just throw it away. And some guys after a bad first round will just tank it. And then the week after, some guys that were hanging around in that major, maybe catch lightning in a bottle. Some guys that had a bad major that are just making an appearance. You just don't know. And so we always usually stay away. And it was funny. Both algorithms hit on two guys. And so I said, throw some beer and pizza money on these two guys. Do a little first round leader. And then, you were getting good odds, 18 to 1, 22 to 1. And one is still in the barn. That was Davis Riley that just never got out. And then the other one, Top Gun Maverick, which again, the algorithms loved him. And if you're looking at it, it looks like the cream, the headliners are hanging around. They had weather yesterday. I mean, quick thoughts on the 3M this week. I didn't even know if you've been following it at all.
Just score checking a little bit. Like I said, I definitely that one for sure. I haven't had much of a chance. Had events going on Thursday through Saturday back in my hometown, but it has been surprising a little bit to see. Obviously we told people the value on Tony Finau isn't quite there, and I still stand by that statement. But obviously he's up, sitting in third place right now, tied for third. I still am not going to be backing him today. I think, there's not really any value on Piercy. Again, it's a classic Sunday where, if you're going to dive into anything, you kind of have to do what we do and take the top off a little bit and dive deep a little bit. But, kind of like we said, there was a few names that we liked as far as still bigger names, but kind of fit in that category of, not really competing too heavily in these majors as far as Putnam, Hadley, JT Poston is up there. So a couple guys that are kind of in that camp, but for sure, it's been a pretty good tournament as far as what I've been able to see. So, I'm interested again today. Like those kinds that I kind of just mentioned are kind of the guys that if I'm doing anything, I would go to. Sung Jae Im is kind of hanging around there. His odds are, it looks like 22 to 1 over here on this app, so I'm not sure what type of value that holds. But, Putnam, Hadley, Poston, Jared Wolf are a few guys that if I'm doing anything, I might take a swing at today. As far as the 3M, but aside from that, like I said, I don't typically go too hard on Sunday when I don't have as much chance to watch like I haven't, keep as close tabs as I normally do, which I haven't been able to do this week. So if I'm doing anything, those are probably the few names that I'm looking at today.
You had talked about the UFC. Our boy Zaid Hussein sent me a direct message yesterday. His two plays. Looking actually at his tickets, he had a nice day. Hermanson minus 110 gets it done versus Curtis, and then he really loved Blades at plus. He got him out plus 120, so he cashed his both tickets there.
Yeah, I had sometimes I like to do a couple two-way favorite parlay. I had just Patty Pimblett and Nikita Krylov together. It was plus 105, so I got that one pretty easily as far as what I was able to see. Though Krylov got the round one win, and then I saw Patty Pimblett get the nice submission win. So I'm not I'm not sitting here talking as a UFC expert. I have a handful of fighters that I've seen quite a bit, and I sometimes I'll like to feel like I have some confidence in them, and so. And get pretty conservative. As like I said, to don't always endorse parlays, but sometimes when you have a couple big favorites that you like that come together for some nice odds, that's one that I like to do. So, that main event, Curtis Blades getting the win. I was not quite sure what to expect. A lot of people are pretty high on Aspinall coming up. So, Patty Pimblett. Everyone's tough not to love the guy. So it was fun to see him get the win in London there. So, should be some exciting matches or exciting events coming up. I think next week is a big pay-per-view one as far as maybe one title, title fights actually. Yeah, title fights.
That was my next one. When I talk about UFC or even boxing, I talk about closing out and when someone's hurt, and I bring in the Lioness, Amanda Nunez, when she stunned you and hurt you, it was like Mike Tyson. You were done.
It's over.
And she would just throw bomb after bomb, and she wouldn't miss.
Right.
And obviously, she's coming off a loss. And I follow her on social media and especially on TikTok. And I will honestly tell you, in the past 3 months, that's all I've seen on TikTok is her doing sponsor deals. Now, I don't like to use the mental part of this. She, I don't want to say peaked. She was a champ for a long time. I think she's still a pretty big favorite. I don't know if you can pull the odds up. I thought she was.
It's about minus 300, yeah, which is, I think, probably the shortest that she's ever been, at least since she became the champ, right?
Yeah, and unless the champ that has the belt just is one and done, and Amanda's just putting up a smokescreen, I don't see it, Riley. I really don't.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm not the expert, so if she's healthy, I would still be. I'm not being, taking the value on whatever her action is, but if she's healthy, I would feel confident that she would be hell bent on bouncing back. But like you said, just yeah, I guess we can't judge pretty heavily or too heavily on exactly what you're seeing on social media. Maybe she is grinding like crazy, but Juliana Pena is obviously extremely talented and extremely skilled. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm not going to count her out. It's one that I'm never going to count her out. But it would not surprise me if this is a really really good fight, and we see a two-time defending champ as far as Pena is concerned. But yeah, we'll see. I'm a big fan of a couple of the other fights. We'll obviously get to it later in the week, I'm sure. But the Brandon Moreno Kai Kara France fight, I'm pretty excited for. That's the second one, and then Derek Lewis back in the ring is on the card as well. So that's always entertaining. So I'm sure we'll get to it later in the week. But yeah, it should be a good one next weekend.
I'm going to do a quick vent session. I hate people on Twitter that talk out of both sides of their mouths. And I'm just going to go to this weekend, Friday, for the people that didn't watch or see it. At some point, you've had to seen the box score. The Toronto Blue Jays put up literally 4 touchdowns, and they missed the extra point on one of them. So,
yeah.
And you get all these trolls crawling out of the woodwork. They want Bloom's head. They want management's head. This was the same people applauding the Red Sox in Game 6 of the ALCS against the Astros last year. And I just despise it because, these are the same people that are Bruins fans that didn't win a playoff series, are Patriots fans that were one and done. Yet their beloved Red Sox have hit hard times. They've hit injuries. And I really, really think the Bogarts talk has started to take a little weight on, or water, should I say, onto this boat. And, now Devers on the IL. It's a team sinking and sinking ugly. The schedule set up bad for them before the break, and now in come the Jays. And you're dealing the same thing. We talked about it was time if you're going to get on to the White Sox. Even the numbers said get on board because they're going to make their run. So you're kind of feeling the same pain that I am.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it can be, frustrating when you can't really see the end as far as some of the just random, day-to-day stuff. It's not even, the typical baseball stuff sometimes. Sometimes it's just stuff that you feel like you can never dig yourself out of. And it seems like both of our teams are probably going to be hovering around 500. I still have optimism for the White Sox. They have an easier schedule after this weekend is concerned. But, yeah, it can be really damn frustrating. And then, obviously, the noise. And, I've been, optimism and obviously critical of, Tony La Russa as far as he's concerned. But, yeah, it can be tough to dig yourself out of. And it can feel like a long season, and you're still holding out optimism as far as anytime they're still lurking in that playoff range. And obviously, you've got an interesting case, like you've been talking about, as far as what the trade deadline is looking at as far as you guys are concerned the next couple of weeks. So it's going to be interesting. I'm interested as far as it's one of the more fascinating cases as far as are they going to pay these guys, are they going to sell these guys? So these next couple of weeks should be interesting.
Yeah, and I know this. I know this for a fact. They will not become sellers because they want Finney's in the seat still in September. For me, if I honestly wish they know right now if they're going to sign Bogarts or not. And if they're not, well, I would like to get something back for him like they did with Mookie. JD's walking. I would like to get something back for him. Evaldi's walking. I would like to get something back for him instead of just playing out the card and then going into the offseason with 2 guys walking, and then you got to figure out what's going on with Bogarts.
Right, and I've compared that situation to it's different timelines for sure. The Cubs are kind of in the the year after that did happen, but they obviously not the most popular opinion across their fan base, but they obviously pulled the plug on just about every single one of their guys last year, and like you said, instead of letting them walk, if that's what they wanted to do, got at least something back for it, right? And it seems like maybe Wilson Contreras is there next, but yeah, without getting anyone back, it can really set you back as far as building back into what the future can hold, or even 5 years from the future, having maybe some late blooming prospects. So I agree with you. I don't see any sense of it other than what you said as far as just selling tickets. But I don't see any sense of if they're going to walk or not going to be with you next year, then why not get something back for it? I've never understood why any team would not do that.
Full slate ahead. Overnight, I was busy yesterday, and I was just looking at the last night's numbers, and I had my eye on one game at least. We put together the action parlay. 2 weeks ago, we took 3 pieces of it, and what I've been trying to do is money line with the dog of the day, and then try to do some run lines with the dog of the day, and then 2 weeks ago, 3-0. And I always say on our alert, do not single. And last Sunday, the day of the last day of the before the break, the 0-3 reverse sweep. So that's why I say do not single. But I was eyeing. They had Hutchinson up there. I was ready to pounce all over them, but they moved in Garcia. But we got a full slate ahead, so the board is yours, my friend.
Alrighty, let's knock off the one tipping off. First pitch, kicking off, whatever you want to call it, in 35 minutes here on Peacock. Cubs and Phillies. I believe the Cubs have gotten the first 2 out of the series. Whomped them on Friday night, 15-2, 6-2 yesterday. And the odds in this one, we got Smiley and Falter. Phillies only about -120. I don't know if my info is correct. This one opened about -140 and is coming down. Am I accurate with that statement?
Yeah, I saw a -145 opener, a corrected line of 113, as high as 125 at DraftKings. The sneaky thing here is Smiley's been pretty damn good of late.
Right. And I mean, you got a total of 10 in this one, and it looks like not only we've got some hot weather in this one, at least 90 degrees, I think. Wind's kind of blowing out, so if the ball's going to be jumping off the bat and getting in the air, it might, this kind of tells you this might be a high-scoring, home run-filled game. So interesting for the Phillies here. I know we don't like to typically go too deep. Obviously, Quicksand Sunday, and jumping into that first game can obviously be the start of Quicksand Sunday. But any which way you would go in this one if you had to?
I think the initial thought process here is that the Phillies actually going to get swept by the Cubs. You need to try to save face and steal one, but Vegas is saying not so fast here.
Yeah.
If I had to dip my toes in the sand, I might take a swing. If you could shop around at Circa right now, run to the window, you could get a 9.5. Otherwise, it's 10s across the board. Do you believe and trust the opening number, or is it more of the corrected number? So if I could get a 9.5, I'd throw some beer, bagel, and pizza money on the over 9.5.
Okay, I like it. Let's see. Moving on to the next one. Angels and Atlanta Braves. You've got Detmers and Anderson in this one. Braves laying a pretty hefty number, 215 or so. At home in this one, the Braves have gotten the first 2. The Angels, I'm not sure what their losing streak is at, but obviously spanning before the All-Star break. And the Atlanta Braves are playing as well as anybody. So any way to jump into this one at all if you're back in the Braves and Anderson. Anderson is one of the guys that's been pretty mortal out of that rotation, 4.79 ERA, but obviously 8-5 record. So they've still gotten the job done for him. Anything that you are interested in, or are you just staying away too much of a price on the Braves in this one?
Braves cooking with Crisco, been beating up lefties. In comes Detmers, and I got him on our fantasy team and my co-manager. I'm like cursing why the hell we got him in the lineup today. Trout was supposed to come back Monday, gets a shot. He is going to not be back on Monday. Angels fielding calls for Hotani. I couldn't even imagine what the price tag would be for Shohei. And there was actually a few guys earlier this week on Twitter saying if he was to get moved, the Braves would be the team, which would be fascinating.
Wow.
If they were able to get Shohei. The only way I obviously could get in here is an Angels team that is just decimated. It's just playing out. They got no back end. Their front end struggling. And I'm not an Anderson backer, but if you needed to get in here, I have no problem with the Braves run line today.
Okay, no, I'm with you on this one. It's pretty putrid. I think if this is the accurate lineup, Otani leading off, and then it's yeah, it's not looking great after that. So, next one up, the pesky Orioles hosting the Yankees. I believe it's split so far in this series, right? So far, yep, 7-6 Yankees on Friday night and 3-6 Orioles last night. Cortez on the mound, Kramer on the mound for the Orioles. Only about -180 for the Yankees in this one on the road in Baltimore. If you're going anywhere, are you back in the pesky Orioles, or are you staying away from the Yankee train, kind of feeling it out here in the second half?
We've been talking for weeks upon weeks about the pesky Orioles, and down 3-0 yesterday. They get six in a row, and they win 6-3 against Garrett Cole. Great win for them. If you look at this season, the Yankees have won a bazillion series and only lost a handful. It would expect a bounce back. I can't get into the 170. If you were going to tiptoe in there, it's an under over a 9. I might look at the Yankees run line and then just get out of Dodge.
Yep. No, I'm with you on that one. Next one up, Miami and Pittsburgh. You got Sandy Alcantara on the mound against Mitch Keller for the Pirates. Looking to see, I didn't see much of this series so far. Split so far. Miami gets 8-1 win on Friday, 0-1 win for the Pirates last night. Mitch Keller obviously been pretty hit or miss, and then you got Alcantara over there. So, are you feeling confident enough to pay any tax on Alcantara, or is this a situation where this this Miami Marlins team, the offensive output isn't really worth buying any of the price on their money line first five, whatever you call it?
I looked at the numbers on Friday, and going into the game, the Marlins hadn't scored in 33 innings. Yet their team total was 4.5, juiced under. We were on the Marlins team total over 4.5, and we had the Marlins in that game. They were short favorites around -120. We get the job done, as you said, 8-1, win both of those units there. As they do what they do best yesterday, lose 1-0. Now the best pitcher in the game, -165 with a total of 7. Again, the number's too steep. Keller's been okay. I would look for Miami here in some type of run line and pray that they get to 3 or 4 and Alcantara does his job. I like the Marlins here in a bounce back. But again, as you said, it's quicksand Sunday, guys, and the taxes are absolutely through the roof. So you can't be going to the window here and betting 3 -170s, putting $510 up at the window to net yourself 300 if you go 3-0.
Right. And I think this one is I trust Sandy Alcantara to be fantastic, but this Marlins team, as we've talked about before, sometimes, especially with the prices, it's just not worth backing them. Even throwing them in a parlay, I wouldn't do on in today's case as well. I'm not saying it's a terrible option, but their offense, anytime I back them, their offense will put up a 0 or a 1 spot guaranteed. So,
as we were speaking, Jose Ramirez, doubtful, day of rest for him. So here come the, it's funny. We had the All-Star break. Yes, he played in the All-Star game. Yes, he played in the Home Run Derby. Yes, he's taking his Sunday off.
Yeah, White Sox Twitter was up in arms as far as Tim Anderson taking game 1 of the doubleheader off because the guy had two days off, but we also got 2 days off upcoming in a week's schedule. So the White Sox Twitter was up in arms as far as that is concerned. Just seeing some lineups coming out for him as well, but let's see. Next one up is Toronto and Boston. You already had some words as far as this Boston team is concerned. Dropped the first 2, obviously, to Toronto here. Yesterday wasn't a football score, but still a 4-1 win for Toronto there. Stripling for the Blue Jays and Bello for the Red Sox. Obviously, a nice, highly touted prospect that everyone's been excited for. Hasn't been fantastic quite yet since he's come up. Any faith in him today, or is this another don't put your money on the Boston Red Sox here today?
He got 2 starts, one at home versus Tampa, one at Tampa. They sent him back down to Worcester. If you could please pull up the Red Sox lineup and tell the world what it looks like.
You've got Duran, Vasquez, Verdugo, Bogarts, Cordero, Dahlbeck, Jackie Bradley Jr., Sanchez, and Downs. That is the lineup today.
That is called shit on a shingle.
That is what you call a 4A lineup for the most part, is what they call it in the streets these days.
Stripling has been okay. I have no faith in Bello. I think the under over is 10 and a hook. Listen, if I wasn't at the wedding, don't expect me at the funeral, as I like to say here. I haven't been a part of the first two games, will not be a part of the third one. If you guys have been riding the Jays the first two, there's no reason not to take the Jays again today.
Yeah, yep, I agree. For over 5.5 in that first five. It looks like the first few innings could be pretty fruitful for runs there.
It's
Go ahead.
I was in Boston yesterday, and it was hot and humid. It's hot and humid today. The ball's going to be jumping. It's
Okay.
an under over at 10 and a hook.
Yeah.
Probably get there by the fourth or fifth inning.
Okay, I like it. St. Louis and Cincinnati, next one up. St. Louis only about -152. You got Mikolas and Mali in this one for the Reds. If I'm not mistaken, you got a split so far in this series. Reds get Friday night, and the Cardinals get last night 6-3. I typically haven't had much action on either of these guys anytime lately. I think this opening number was a little bit off from where it was. Open about -130 and now up to about -150, it looks like. Total 9.5. This one, I think another one. I think it's just a hot day all around baseball with some winds blowing. This one is 13 mile an hour wind and a total of 9.5. So anywhere you go in this one, we're going to see some more runs in this one. Kind of a toss up as far as the game is concerned.
Friday, we had team total over 5.5 for the Cardinals. It lands on 5. I leave it alone. Yesterday, it was 5.5 again. It got to 6. Male at home earlier this year, Vegas was really pumping his numbers. They've kind of faded off of that. I expect St. Louis to find a way to sneak this one out to win the series. This is the lowest total. Well, I shouldn't say that. Yesterday's was overnight was 10.5 and corrected number of 9.5. And this one stuck and stayed at 9.5. I'll go 5-3 Cardinals.
Okay. Yeah, kind of. Just kind of a toss-up game for the most part, as far as all of these are concerned. So, no lineup yet for the Cardinals. I'm sure that'll come out any second here. Next one, Minnesota and Detroit. Was this the one where you said you had somebody in there and Garcia's came in replacement? That's the one you were talking about here?
Yeah, Detroit had Hutchinson overnight, and then they
Okay.
moved Garcia in today.
Okay, yeah. Let's see. Twins and Tigers is what we're talking about here. This is actually game 2. Did not play on Friday. The Twins got the 8-4 win last night. And they are about -165, 170 favorites in this one. 8.5 total, one of the lower totals that we've been talking about so far. 18 mile an hour winds is what we're seeing here, at least what I'm seeing, but blowing sideways, not blowing out or in this one. So you got an 8.5 total there. Anything that you're liking in this one? Is the ball going to be flying out to left field if the wind's blowing that way, or you're staying away from this one altogether?
I'm going to stick to my initial lean. I like Minnesota. I like their bats. I like for them to, follow and piggyback off of yesterday. I have no problem with Gray. Don't know enough about Garcia. Again, the prices are so high today, guys. If you're putting together like we are an action parlay, you can find 2 or 3 games and just use the money lines. If you're trying to single these games out, again, I'm not telling you to go to the window to -160s and 50s, 70s, 200s. You got to use the run line. I'm comfortable with playing Minnesota on the run line today.
Yeah, I like it. Sonny Gray. I mean, Sonny Gray is one of the bigger, at least on today's slate, probably bounce back potential, I would say, on the entire slate. 6 runs last time, the White Sox, 5 before that, 3 before that. So it hasn't been great for July. Now he's got, I think, 9-10 days off. So I would say one of the better bounce back candidates that we've got today. Next one, we've got Colorado and Milwaukee. This one is in Milwaukee. -195 or so for the Brewers in this one. Lauer on the mound, a lefty. Rockies at least a little bit better against lefties. Brewers have taken the first 2 out of this one, 6-5 and 9-4 last night. Any which way to go in this one? You like the Brewers enough, or is this kind of a pesky Colorado team in certain spots, and maybe the price is a little steep?
Let me see something right here. 1 second here. Milwaukee team total 5.5 juiced under 140. I have Colorado team total 3.5 over minus 120 with an under over a 9. So something smells fishy here. You know what? Initially, I was going to say Colorado team total over 3.5, but when you get a big number like this with a 9, I would you say Milwaukee scored 8 yesterday?
I think it was 8 or 9. Let me double check here. 9 yesterday, 9-4 Brewers.
I have confidence in either team's team total over. I don't like to play the with the prices. You can get the Colorado team total over 3.5 minus 120, and you get a nice plus price on the Brewers 5.5 over. You can get it plus 120.
Okay, I'm interested. Another one I was looking at as far as player prop, if you like throwing a little, whether you like an easy one or a little tougher one, Blackman 11 for 20 lifetime versus Lauer, so pretty solid numbers there. A couple bombs, 4 RBIs, so that would be a player prop I'd be interested in as far as that game is concerned. Next one up, we've got my White Sox hosting the Cleveland Guardians. Probably the best pitching matchup that we might have on today's slate, or one of them for sure. Bieber and Cease. 2 out of 3 so far for Cleveland. White Sox trying to even the series, one of the bigger series of the season so far here. About minus 148 on the money line. It's giving me some confidence going up a little bit to minus 150. Bieber absolutely dominated the White Sox, whatever it was, a week and a half or so ago in Cleveland. White Sox just don't play very well against this Cleveland team. But as you mentioned, Jose Ramirez doubtful. I don't know if you got an official 100% out, but obviously you mentioned he is doubtful. That is a massive loss from their lineup against the White Sox here today. So any faith in the White Sox, or is this a nice spot for the value for the Cleveland Guardians here today?
No, if you're looking for a public trendy dog, obviously Bieber would be it, and the Guardian. I trust and respect the opening number of 148, now 150. Look for your boys to and Cease to take care of business. And again, you said Bieber was lights out the last time he faced us. So usually the second time around. For me, I have Bieber on that fantasy team. I'm rooting for Bieber, but your White Sox is definitely the side today.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that one. I'm crossing my fingers and hoping we can even this one up. Easier schedule this upcoming week, so it's a big one for sure. Tampa and Kansas City, next one up. That one is in Kansas City. Springs and Bubic. Springs typically doesn't go too deep into these games. Let's see, typically, 4 or 5 innings, sometimes 6, I guess. So he's been going a little bit later lately. Against Bubic, obviously, Bubic has kind of been pretty hit or miss here. Left-hander on both sides of the equation here. Let's see, we've got minus 155 or so for the Tampa Bay Rays. This series so far has been a split. Tampa loses yesterday, so do you see a bounce back and a series win for Tampa Bay in today's case? I got my cat trying to chomp on my. I got my cat trying to chomp on my microphone cord over here. Cut me out.
Numbers say yes. I'm not a big Springs. Bubic, we call him Bubic the Boob. He's pitched okay of late, but I would expect Tampa to scratch and claw and find a way to. This is the old 4-3, 5-3 game. Look for Tampa, to find a way to win the series. We can't thank the Royals and Bobby Witt Jr. enough for the 2 units yesterday. So we're gonna just applaud them and then watch that game with some popcorn and pizza.
No, definitely. I think 5 more left on the slate here. Going to the West Coast in this one, pretty short line for one of the worst teams of baseball here. However, they've gotten the first 2 out of this series. Oakland and Texas, as I mentioned, Oakland first 2 games out of this series. They are only plus 115 today with Perez on the mound. That one smelling a little stinky to me, but I will probably stay away. But are you going Oakland or nothing, or is this at least a nice spot of tough to catch Perez at this price, or is that just a giant, big fat giant trap here on Sunday?
Under over open at 7.5 down to 7. Blackburn again has been sneaky. Oakland's offense putrid, but again, Texas comes in after their Thursday win on the road, fly into Oakland and have laid 2 eggs. Martin Perez has been lights out. if you look at overall for the year. He's had a few bumps. He's kind of come back to earth. The price to me would say Perez or nothing. I haven't been involved in this series. Someone wanted to go and jump in on Oakland. I get it. If someone wanted to jump in on Texas, I get that as well. I'm going to stay away, though.
Yeah, no, definitely. There's something going on here, but yeah, I'm not trying to solve the puzzle. That's for sure. And spend my money on Sunday here. San Francisco and the Dodgers is the next game up. This one is 3:10 my time, 4:10 your time. I believe we've got Kershaw on the mound first start after the All-Star break against Alex Cobb. Dodgers get the first 3 out of this series, actually. This is game number 4, and the Dodgers are looking for the 4-game sweep. We've got about minus 225 odds, I think is what we're seeing for the Dodgers here, 215 to 230 in some spots. So is it Dodgers easy in this one, or any value on the Giants bouncing back and maybe trying to salvage any type of momentum after this series here?
You know, the Dodgers long and longer. That's their lineup. And yesterday they had 3 homers by Turner, Betts, and Freeman, and win 4-2. They beat you 4-2, or they beat you, 9-3. It doesn't matter. It's tough to win 3 games. Never mind 4. I'm not telling anyone to run to the Kershaw on a Sunday. And listen, if you ask me which way I would go this way, I would take a flyer with San Francisco here to trying to save some face. And if you wanted to get cute, play them in the first 5, maybe. You don't have to deal with that bullpen. I know they always have the pitching edge. I get that part. They also have the pitching edge in the back end too. But you're gonna, catch plus 180, get beer money, nothing stupid. But I sooner or later, Kershaw is going to come back down to Infinity. Like you said, he pitched in the All-Star game, first game back. Just a on the Giants today.
Yeah, no, I'm 100% with you. 100% with you. It's going to be probably one of the better games of the slate for sure, and obviously the Giants need it. So next one up, Houston and Seattle. Seattle kind of held true to your long winning streak. Lose first game off the losing streak, lose back-to-back. We've got Robbie Ray on the mound versus Framber Valdez. I'm not a big Robbie Ray fan, but obviously if you can find the spots, he obviously has some value in certain occasions. But any which way you're going in this one, only about minus 125 for the Astros. I think it was a similar price yesterday or maybe the day before, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously, the Astros got that one done. So any way you like in this one, is this going to be a Seattle bounce back, or the Astros take the 3-game sweep here?
I applaud you for mentioning exactly what I talked about. 14 games in a row. They lose the first one. You always come back. They lose the second one. And Cy Verlander, 13th win. Just listen, guys. I kind of hit myself with the head because if you look back this year, Verlander 13-3, I think it is. So that's 16. I don't know how many official starts he's had. It's probably 17 or 18. But his first 5 record is just off the rails. I grabbed him yesterday, minus the hook for plus money. This game here, I think the numbers sneak. It's Valdez and Ray, and we talked all year about fade Ray. Well, Ray's been pitching pretty good. I like the Mariners. I am to at least get back onto the winning streak, to get one here to salvage the 3rd game. I like Seattle here today.
Yeah, no, I think I'm with you. I mean, Ray's got 2 of his last 3 starts, 12 strikeouts, so definitely in probably his best form that we've seen him all season. So I think I'm with you on that one for sure. Let's see, we've got a couple more left. Washington and Arizona. That's been an interesting one. I believe we've got Arizona, 10-1 and 7-2 the last 2 days. Washington, I think, is probably going to be sputtering pretty hard here. Obviously, the Juan Soto news is still running wild here. But anything you like here? Arizona minus 125. Is that a good fade spot of Washington, or is this maybe the time Washington bounces back and salvages one here?
Yeah, that's the lowest number this has been the whole series. Yeah. I think Gallen went the first game. Not sure who went the second game. Arizona's been pounding them. Saw late last night that the Yankees are interested in Soto, so here we go. You know something? If they were to pull that move, this is just me. I haven't read it, I haven't heard it, and if they were able to pull that trigger, my gut would tell me Stanton would come back and the Yankees would pay like half that salary or something. They've been trying to get out of that contract for a long, long time. And it'd be interesting to see, hey, we can get half of the salary out with Stanton. We need to re-sign Judge, obviously. And then you bring in a Soto for the next 10 to 12 years. So that's just my take on it.
Yeah.
Fede's been pretty damn good of late. I lean the Nationals here. I know it's a stinky, smelly spot. I don't know enough about Martin, but I'm just saying right now, I think they're begging for Diamondbacks money. I think the Nationals is the right side today.
Yep. And just it was about minus 160, 165 the last 2 days, and now it's down to 125. So, yeah, I think I'm with you as far as that is concerned. San Diego and the Mets on Sunday Night Baseball here, Musgrove and Carrasco. Obviously, Carrasco has been kind of all over the place all season long. And you've got Musgrove, who's been obviously very solid for the Padres. Any which way you're going in this one for Sunday night? Is this one going to be a good game to close it out? Carrasco, obviously, actually in June has been 1.56 ERA over 3 starts, 1 run, 2 runs, 0 runs his last 3. Is this a good regression spot for him, or is he going to keep things rolling here? Mets about minus 125 on the money line there.
I would have respected a minus 150. I know Musgrove's good, but here's the Padres that come in after the break, take the first 2. And now you got the Miracle Mets on ESPN. I think the public by the end of the day and Quicksand Sunday is just going to be pushing all in on the Mets. I mean, they're going to say, I can get the Mets minus 130 or less at home on Sunday night. Jesus, line me up.
All right.
Be careful, guys. I that's a Padre number. I can't fathom the fact that the Padres could come in and sweep these guys, but Vegas is telling me. I mean, the Mets are at 58 and 37, and we've been talking about them all year. Well, the Padres are at 54 and 42.
Yeah.
To swing in the bat, I don't know when he's coming back. I wish he'd come back soon. He's been on my bench all year. Wake up.
Yeah, I'm interested. I'm interested in some Carrasco regression as far as what's going to happen. So I like it. Maybe it doesn't look like we can get fantastic odds on any team total for the Padres, but yeah, I might be interested in some Padres action as far as tonight's case is concerned. But I think unless did I miss anything? I think that just about covers it as far as the full slate of MLB today.
No, you covered it and covered it well as always. Again, peeps, I can't state this enough. Okay, it was a short week this week because of the All-Star break. Okay, so if you dabbled on Thursday and got your bells rung, you dabbled on Friday, your bells rung, and then you woke up this morning and you got your bells rung again, you're not going to get it all back today. It's Quicksand Sunday for a reason. Okay, assess your bankroll, assess your nut, and then just go from there. Do some dabbling. Monday's a new day. It's a new week. It's the last full week of July. We'll be knocking on August 1st.
Sheesh.
I can't believe next Monday is August 1st. And the whole world, oh my God, 30 days, 27 days, 25 days till football. Woo, woo! We're going to get those guys. Yeah, sure. And, just be careful out there. There's a lot of big numbers. There's a lot of numbers out there today that are just in that spot where it's enough to say, the 145s, the 150s, the 50s. When you start dancing with that devil, there's no number you won't dabble in. So just be careful out there. That's all I got to say.
No, I won't add too much to it. It's I think there's plenty of games today that are going to be souring some people's bankroll if they are getting too aggressive. So I'm with you. It's not going to be too many games on my slate as far as anything that I'm actually putting money down on. That's for sure.
So remember this, peeps. Actually, next week I look into line up a lot of guests. I don't know personally if I'm hoping to line up a lot of guests. Could have some interference with stuff going on family-wise here. But I think the objective here is me and Riley to get out early this week with some morning and evening shows. We'll figure that out as we go. our usual cast of characters on Wednesday with Andrew McGinnis, on Friday with Dan Alexander. Zaid Hussein will be coming in later in the week to talk UFC. Amanda Nunez, there's 2 title fights there. Looking to lock in Julian Edlow from DraftKings and earlier in the week. And I think we're going to get a special appearance from Mr. Dave Sharapan, who was live on the field of the Dodgers and the All-Star game for MLB Network. He'll be blessing our studio. So I will be posting those as they come. But always, always, always remember this, peeps. If you are wagering or investing today, you got to do it responsibly. If you do have a problem, pick up that phone. Why? Because there's an 800 number. Ask for help. Myself and Riley want to see you here today, tomorrow, next week, next month, through 2022 and beyond. From myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports, from the one and only Riley Magnuson at Riley_Magnuson, the one. We wish everyone a blessed day. Have some fun. It's family day. Don't get caught up in the quicksand. All right. Go to the barbecues. Go to the beaches. People back east. It is hot as Haiti. Stay hydrated. You know, it doesn't have to be of alcohol form. You know, you can put some rocks and pineapples and limes and lemons in the juice and make it look good. All right. And if you're at the beach, make sure you flip over 15 minutes. So everyone have a great day. Cash some tickets, be wise, and we'll see you at the beginning of next week.